These parents took the life of their own daughter in a UK-based honour killing. Hello there, stranger. Today I'm going to be telling you about the case of Shafilia Ahmed. Viewer discretion, as always, is advised, but an extra heads up. This is a really sad and distressing case. It's an honour killing of a child by her own parents, so please proceed with caution. Shafilia Ahmed was born on the 14th of July 1986 to parents Iftikhar and Farzana Ahmed. Her parents were first cousins. Shafilia's father Iftikhar had come to the UK when he was just 10 years old, later moving to Denmark where he married a Danish lady and they had a son together. Iftikhar then returned to Pakistan in 1985 where he married his cousin Farzana, and the two came to the UK together in 1986. Farzana was already pregnant with their first daughter and Shafilia was born in Bradford, but the family soon relocated to Warrington and that's where they settled. Shafilia was a really bright girl. She did very well at school and was successful in her GCSEs. And she wanted to stay at school so that she could get her A-levels and study law. She got along well with her peers, mixing with girls her own age, but they were culturally different to her and her parents hated that. They were very strict Pakistani parents and they wanted Shafilia to conform to their ways. But Shafilia did not want that. She wanted to be a successful, free woman and she wanted to live her life how she wanted. Her parents couldn't stand that. Shafilia was not allowed to socialise within the so-called white community. She was not allowed to dress in Western styles and she was not allowed any contact whatsoever with boys. The judge would later say that the parents wanted to raise their children in Pakistan in Warrington. It must have been incredibly difficult for poor young Shafilia to correlate her home and education and social lives. Whilst I am an advocate for immigration, people must understand that if you choose to move to another country, to another culture, and then you choose to have children there, those children are going to assimilate some of that culture. When Shafilia was just 16, she ran away, but she was captured on the street by her parents in February 2003, and then they drugged her and made her go to Pakistan where they planned to force her into an arranged marriage. Such was Shafilia's distress when she realised their plans for her that she drank bleach and caused serious injury to her esophagus. She got sicker and sicker in Pakistan, but her parents just left her there and returned to the UK. Shafilia was very poorly and very weak, and so she was no longer fit for the marriage, and then she was returned to the UK. She went straight into hospital and spent her 17th birthday there in July. But Shafilia was out of hospital and on the mend by September, and she enrolled herself into college. She was determined and ambitious, a strong young lady, and my heart fucking breaks for her that all she wanted was her freedom and all her parents cared about was the shame that that supposedly brought on their family. They cared more about shame than they did about their own child. Their firstborn daughter was less important to them than the opinions of others, of strangers. And on the 11th of September 2003, after an argument again about her behaviour, Iftikhar and Farzana took their daughter's life by suffocation. And they did this, they took Shafilia's life in front of their other 3 children, with their son telling their other daughters within minutes that Shafilia deserved what had happened to her. All of the children were instructed on what to say to people about their sister and the situation. And Shafilia's body was subsequently dumped on a riverbank in Cumbria. They teamed up on her in front of their other children and took her life. She must have been terrified. She was only 17 years old. Shafilia deserved to work the job that she wanted. She deserved to marry whomever she pleased. And she deserved to have the life that she desired. And she died fighting for that right, with nobody there to protect her because the ones that were supposed to be doing that were the ones killing her. Shafilia's body was recovered in February 2004, but because of the level of decomposition, it was impossible to determine a cause of death. And it wasn't until 2010 when one of the other daughters gave a formal statement to police about the event in question that police reassessed the case and CPS were finally able to prosecute. 9 years after Shafilia's death in August 2012, Iftikhar and Farzana Ahmed were sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 25 years. Shafilia's was an honour killing, and if you or anybody that you know is at risk of or suffering from honour-based abuse, there are people out there that can help you. The national charity Karma Nirvana for one, then there is another organisation led by survivors that is focused on honour-based abuse and forced marriage, and that is called True Honour. Love that name. The Halo Project is another, again focusing on honour-based abuse, forced marriages and victims of FGM. Then there's Freedom Charity, and that runs a 24/7 helpline for victims and those at risk. Any and all women can contact the charity Refuge and they will offer help and support. Please do not assume that because this is England or the UK in general that this does not happen. It does. This is not the first case that I've covered that centres around an honour-based killing. So please, strangers, if you see something, say something. Rest in peace to Shafilia Ahmed, who died fighting for her right to freedom and for her right to choice. You didn't make it, Shafilia, but I am so proud of you and I hope you are soaring with the angels. And Shafilia's birthday, the 14th of July, is now the National Day of Remembrance for victims of honour-based abuse. Sure, what an absolutely heartbreaking case. This one really, really got to me. Please, as always, let me know what you think in the comments, strangers. And of course, if you've stayed with me up until now, then thank you for watching. I will see you for the next one.